party in the town. Buenas tardes. In Mexico City, we are doing something extremely cultural in Mexico City during Holy Week. There's a man with a cross right there. Did you see him? We're in a section of Mexico City, city called Iztapalapa. During the Holy Week, they reenact all the different aspects of the story of Jesus Christ and the Easter story, really. So Thursday they had the Last Supper. Today, Christ will be carrying the cross to a hill and be crucified. Not technically, but it will be really interesting to see. It's something they do every year, and they've done it for like over 200 years.
We should probably explain a little bit what this is about. Now, we have a bit of cultural understanding of this because Ashley and I both grew up in a Christian family and community. So we understand the story of Jesus and how that translates to the Catholic story of Jesus and why this day is so important to them. As best as I understand, in Catholicism, the crucifixion, the suffering of Jesus, is a huge, huge importance in the Catholic religion. They focus a lot on the suffering aspect and how he suffered greatly for their sins. So this week is a passion play, a reenactment, if you will, of the week of trials that Jesus went through at the hands of both the Jewish people and the Roman persecution. So this week they reenact the entire story of Jesus Christ's persecution from the beginning to the end in his death and I assume resurrection. But again, today is Good Friday. This is the day that Jesus was sentenced to death and died on the cross, right? So they go through the whole motion. They put Jesus on trial, a character playing Jesus, they put him on trial. And then he carries an actual real heavy cross up a long, long hill while people hurl insults and throw things at him. I mean, it's fairly realistic and we've been told fairly graphic. And then in the end, they mock crucify him, by which they genuinely hang this person on a cross, tying him up, not nailing things into his body. And that's as best as we know. It's a very interesting thing to reenact this. And we're gonna try and capture it as best we can to share this piece of cultural history with you guys. A problem with this event is that it's been going on for so long and that it's in Spanish. It's really hard to find information about this in English, so we don't actually know where to go. Currently we are following the voices of shouting to what we believe is the trial of Jesus, or the legal trial with Pontius Pilate. There's a big screen up ahead. I can see a group of people and a lot of yelling. Let's see it.
Decid, mentirosos. No lo habéis visto a pie y descalzo. ¿Qué importa? Vestido de lana. Tetrarca de Galilea. ¿Qué está haciendo?
The people brought Jesus before Pontius Pilate, the Roman ruler of the area in that day. They accused Jesus of causing a ruckus, inciting riots, and making people angry, even going so far as to claim himself as being God. Well, Pontius Pilate didn't want to have anything to do with this. He thought it was an internal issue among the Jews. And so he said, I wash my hands clean of this. And he handed Jesus back over to the Jews. The Jews then began to yell, crucify him, and a throng, a crowd, a huge group of people all screamed, crucify him, and so they did.
¿Y por qué ha sido con tanto rumor de gente? Por todo lo que ha hecho. ¿Y queréis vosotros? No sabemos. Que al momento le juzguen. ¿Qué delitos ha cometido? Ninguno. Muchos. Ya lo dije.
So we're headed to the mountain where they crucified Christ, but I am so impressed with all these people who are carrying these crosses. The crosses are so heavy. They have support teams along with the people who are carrying the cross, as well as a lot of medical teams that are here to help anyone, because these people are like, they're bringing themselves to their breaking point. Like, they can't carry carry the cross anymore because these crosses are so heavy. And also Josh was saying that he had read that it's kind of a rite of passage. That's why you see younger kids, children carrying these crosses. In this area, it's something that they do yearly to kind of share in the suffering of Christ.
We've climbed up the mountain where they're going to perform the crucifixion, and there are vendors everywhere. I'm sitting in a little hut right now, and we're gonna order some quesadillas because it's about an hour or two as Jesus does the procession up the hill along with all the Pharisees and the people persecuting him. Basically, you have to pick a spot. Either you're on the hill somewhere or you're up on the hill. And near the crucifixion site, there isn't really a great vantage point, but they have a lot of TVs and a lot of announcers, and it's all broadcasted. Your best view may in fact be from your home on television, but it's really fun to come out here and see it all.
Which we were invited into a man's home.
Yes.
He showed us his window and his back, but unfortunately it was the back of Jesus that we would see, and we want to see the front of the whole thing. So, but it was really cool to go into a man's house, and he had like a full window with the whole view.
He had a great view of the back. Let's circle back around now. We're trying to find the best location, but there really isn't a great location.
There are so many people, like millions of people here.
Yes.
It's crazy.
They estimate that between 2 to 4 million people show up for this thing. It's like a mixture between a play, a performance, and a street fair.
And a marathon.
And a marathon all combined, yeah. Very interesting. Okay, I think I'm beginning to understand the procession a little bit. It seems that the people carrying the crosses get the best view, and everyone else has to hang out behind the fence here. At least that's all I can find.
I've ever seen. How they can organize this many people like that are acting in this is insane, as well as how many people are here, and the majority of which can't actually see what's happening. It's just incredible and crazy and madness, but I'm so glad that we're here to experience it, because it does feel like such a cultural experience that you just have to, if you're here during this time of the year, have to come to.
Whereas just days before, the people of the city had welcomed Jesus into their town, laying palm branches under the donkey he rode as he came in. Now the people mocked him. They forced him to carry a cross up a hill, beating him as he went up the way. They crucified him on the cross. They placed him in a tomb, and then 3 days later, they came to find that Jesus had actually risen from the dead. I mean, this was huge news. People don't just come back to life. News quickly spread that Jesus had risen from the dead, and his disciples met in secret, fearing for their lives. Soon, this message, this idea of Jesus and the good news that he preached had reached all over the Roman Empire. And today, this idea, this story of Jesus as God, as a Savior, someone who died in place of us because of our failings, this story has reached everywhere, and now it is celebrated in Mexico every year with an event including millions of people. It is like a carnival. You can get horse rides and everything.
Yeah.
That was something else. As Ashley would describe it, that was crazy, that was insane. Right, Ash?
It was like the craziest thing I've ever witnessed. Like, I've been to fairs, but that was fairs times like 1,000. It was crazy. Like, the whole town was shut down, no cars. Everything was just, it's like every vendor in Mexico went there. It was crazy. And tonight, I bet it's gonna be like more insane than ever, but we need to get some editing done. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Mexico, thanks for that. Once a year that happens and we gotta be there. I'm so happy about it. And happy Easter, guys. The day this comes out, it's Easter, right, Josh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story of Jesus that we got to share through Mexico and its traditions and culture. And we'll see you in the next video. Adios, amigos.
Adios.